Friends, this is Dr. Kareem from National Institute of Agriculture Extension Management, Manage, Hyderabad. Today I am going to discuss with you with respect to this promotion of entrepreneurial skills through farming systems approach. Friends, let us understand what is this farming systems approach. There are two words in this farming systems approach. If you go through this system and the farming and systems, there are two words in this farming systems approach. What is this system? What actually we understand by the word system? System is something which is complete in itself. It has got many components, and every component or every part has got a role to play. And all the parts put together, it becomes a system. Similarly, if you take the meaning of farming, farming is something where you do on a piece of land, where you produce something on a piece of land is known as farming. So if you club these two words, farming systems, it becomes what actually the farmer is doing on its piece of land. What are the components that he has got? What are the resources that he has got? What all the parts that he has got? And how best he is utilizing these components to make his livelihood. So that is what the system of a farmer, what we mean to say. We are going to understand here the existing farming system of the farmer, which is most essential for any entrepreneur or for any extension specialist. If at all you want to work with the farmer, if at all you want to help the farmer, we should first understand what the farmer does in his farm, what all the resources that he has got. What I mean to say by the resources is the land, the plants that he has got, the animals that he has got, the implements that he has got, the capital he has got, the labor he has got, the energy that he has got. So many things are there whereby the farmer, he keeps that, all the resources he uses and makes his, farm, and through that he makes his livelihood. So that is what, we have to understand. If at all you want to understand the farmer's farming system, then only you can be able to make any interventions or diversification in his farm. What I mean to say by the intensification or diversification is how best you can intensify his farm to increase the income. The whole objective of this farming systems approach is to increase the income of the farmer. So if at all you want to increase the income of the farmer, you have to intervene. Either you have to go for intensification of the farm, or you have to go for the diversification of the farm. Intensification of the farming means within the enterprise, if you are doing something different and increase the income, then we call it as intensification. Suppose, for example, if the farmer is cultivating the crops, for example, paddy. So within this paddy crop, what is that we can intervene, or what is that we can do to increase the income of that farmer by change of variety, or by changing the management practices, or by good agriculture practices. How we are going to increase the income of the farmer in that particular crop, paddy. So that is intensification. Now coming to the diversification, here the farmer has got many enterprises. What I mean to say by the enterprise word is, he is doing crop husbandry as an enterprise, animal husbandry as an enterprise, fisheries as an enterprise, horticulture as an enterprise, sericulture as an enterprise. It doesn't mean that the farmer needs to have all these things, all these enterprises. He may have got only one enterprise, or he may have sometimes more than one enterprise. If he has got more than one enterprise, what is that he is doing in these enterprises? Supposing the enterprise is agriculture, what are the crops that he is growing? How best we can increase the income of the farmer in these crops through intensification. Now diversification, what we mean to say is, supposing he has taken up the dairy as one of the enterprise, if he finds that the dairy is not economical, or if the dairy is not giving good income to the farmer, lucrative income to the farmer, then he can change that. So what is your suggestion? How you want to diversify that enterprise from dairy to whatever you want, that which gives the farmer more income? So that is diversification. If the change of enterprises from one enterprise to the other enterprise, we call it as diversification. So diversification is done only in the cases when the income of the farmer is not coming up to the mark. That is, the income is, he is going in losses, or he is making only minimum income. So if you have got a good suggestion that the farmer can do, he can change the enterprise itself, then we can ask the farmer, and your intervention will be for diversification, for the recommendation of diversification. So this is how we have to analyze or diagnose the system of the farmer, that is the farming system of the farmer. So to understand the farming systems of the farmer, that is the existing farming system of the farmer, we need to have so many things in our mind. First of all, we should know what all the resources that he has got, where he lacks, which are the resources which is making optimum use of those resources, and which are the resources which is not making the optimum use. So that is the intervention that you have to, as an entrepreneur, you have to look into the farmer's farming system. So when you analyze the farmer's farming system, you will get all the answers for these questions that you raise. So depending upon this, we will try to see that the farmer gets an optimum income, or you can say a better income than what he was getting earlier. Supposing if the farmer is getting an income from his farm, 1 lakh rupees per annum, so how best we can increase the income of the farmer from 1 lakh to 1,20,000 or 1,30,000. You cannot double the income, but you can at least increase the income. So this is how this farming systems approach is very, very important for any entrepreneur who is interested in helping the farmers, who is interested in working with the farmers, who is interested in doing some business with the farmers, need to understand the farming systems approach. Now let us see, if you try to understand what this our extension system that is existing in our country right from the independence days. In the at the time of our independence, the total population of the country was only 36 crores, and the total production of our country was near about 40 million tons. But these 40 million tons was not sufficient to feed the 36 crores of population. People were dying out of starvation. People were not able to get a square meals a day. So the then government, immediately after our independence, thought that we should increase the agriculture production in our country so that we can at least feed our own people. So the government went on starting the developmental programs, and one of such program was community development program. Community development program was started in the year 1952 on 2nd October, the birthday of our Mahatma Gandhi. And this community development program was an integrated program which was looking after the law and order, agriculture as one of the subject, then education and health. So health, education, then law and order, agriculture, these were the prime areas through which, through this community development program, the government wanted to address. Agriculture was one of the sector whereby the government wanted to increase the income of the agriculture produce. Agriculture production wanted to be increased. So the government wanted to at least provide a square meals a day to the people. So they focused a lot on the agriculture development. So this program, community development program, went on very well. It gave a boost to the government, and the government immediately after the community development program success, they started national extension services in 1953. After that, the government started number of programs to increase or enhance the production of agriculture. But in spite of many programs like Intensive Agriculture Development Program, Intensive Area Development Program, Command Area Development Program, many such programs were started, but we could not make any dent in the production or to increase the production of agriculture. In the year 1967, the government of India introduced high-yielding varieties in rice as well as in wheat. These two high-yielding varieties in rice and wheat made a dent in the food grain production of our country. From 1967 to 1975, we call it as a green revolution era. And during this time, we increased our production to the level that we can declare self-sufficiency in food grains. So till that time, we were not self-sufficient in the food grains. If you remember the slogan given by the Iron Lady of this country, that is Mrs. Gandhi, she said during the year 1971 that I am not going to the developed countries with a begging bowl, asking them to give some food for my people. So that's how, she said that my country should become self-sufficient in food grains. So in the year 1971, that was a slogan given by the Prime Minister of India, that I want my country to become self-sufficient in food grains. In 1975, India declared self-sufficiency in food grains. So that's how, the extension system of the country has worked, and it has really, could increase the food grain production from in 1975 to today. If you see the food grain from 40 million tons to 50 million tons to 230 million tons today we are producing in the country. So this is the history of our extension system. So now this farming systems approach, why this is important, what actually happened, why we are looking after, why we are looking for some new systems to be adopted. This is the question that was raised by the planners, by the thinkers, the agriculture policymakers. So the policymakers, when they turned back and they saw what is happening in the country during the year 98-99, they found that the country's food grain production has stagnated. Why the stagnation has occurred? They found that because of two reasons. One is because of the research, other one is because of the extension. They said that the research has stagnated. They said that the extension has stagnated. There is no vibrancy in the extension, and they came out with a program known as National Agriculture Technology Management Program, NATP program. This NATP program, they came out with the NATP program, and they came out simultaneously what are the constraints in our present extension system. And they said that there are major constraints in extension system are narrow focus of our agriculture extension system. What do you mean by narrow focus? What actually we mean by narrow focus? Narrow focus is if you belong to a particular sector, that is agriculture or animal husbandry or fisheries or sericulture, you will take care of only that sector. You will talk about only crops, crop technologies. If you belong to an animal husbandry, you will speak about only the animals, animal health, animal diseases, animal management, something like that. But what actually we need to have, we need to be broad-based. We need to think of, because farmer has got so many other things. He has got crops, he has got animals, he has got so many things. Besides, he has got so many other sectors, but he is also looking for so many other things, like bank loans. He is looking for crop insurance. He is looking for marketing. He is looking for so many other things which the farmer requires to make his livelihood better or to make his more income. Where is the market? How he can market it? Whether in the same farm that he has produced, or he has to change the farm of that produce. So this is what the narrow focusness. The broad, what actually we need to do in the extension system is we should think broadly about our extension services. The broad-based extension system speaks about so many other things other than the technologies of a particular sector. Then the next constraint is supply-driven rather than demand-driven. Our extension personals, they became supply-driven after the Green Revolution. During the Green Revolution, we supplied the things. We supplied not only the technologies but also the inputs. So the same trend continued, and we became supply-driven rather than the demand-driven. What we mean to say by the supply-driven and the demand-driven is what the farmer wants, we are not able to give. But what we have, we are giving the farmer. So that is the supply-driven. So the farmer is not happy with our supply-driven attitude or the supply-driven system. And the third and the most important is there was lacking of farmers' responsiveness and farmer accountability. Nobody was accountable to the farmer. Has any time the farmer has asked any extension personnel that tell me what is that you have done for me? You are in this jurisdiction for so many years. What is it you have done for me? No farmer will ask any official or any extension personnel that nobody will question him. No farmer will question the extension personnel. So the farmers' accountability, we should be accountable to the farmers. We should be responsive to the farmers. That attitude of extension personnel is lost. Inadequate technical and managerial capacity of our extension functionaries. Most of the people, they are technically, they are not sound. They are not sound managerially. So this is one of the constraints that the government of India has come out with. Absence of mechanism for farmer empowerment. We are not looking after the farmers' empowerment, how we can empower the farmers. The farmers' empowerment means how best we can make the farmer credible. The bank should ask the farmer that, come on, tell me how much loan that you want. That is the empowerment that we are looking for. Empowerment doesn't mean making the farmer strengthy or making the farmer, muscle strengthy or something like that. What we mean to say the farmers' empowerment is to make the farmers credit worthy. Any bank should come forward and ask the farmer, come on, tell me how much loan that you want. This is farmers' empowerment. Inability to involve the private sector. We all know that private sector, without the involvement of the private sector, we cannot, do good things, or we cannot do the bigger things. If you see today, what all that is happening in the country, either you take the airports or you take the roads or any developmental activities, it could be possible only with the public-private partnership. But this public-private partnership or private partnership was lacking in our agriculture extension system. We kept the private sector away from the public sector. We always say that the private sector people, they squeeze the blood of the farmers. They are the profit makers. But at the same time, these profit makers, they can make different things. They can make things differently, and they can increase the production. They can help the farmers in increasing the production. So involvement of the private sector in our agriculture extension system is very much required. So involving the private sector in the agriculture extension system was government of India thought that it is necessary, like what we are doing in the other developmental activities. So major financial constraints, weak research extension linkages are another constraints that the government of India found in our present extension system. So now, changing economic scenario, demand for technologies and information, and in agriculture policy of our country also, they have emphasized for diversification of agriculture. What is this diversification of agriculture? Diversification of agriculture is to diversify the agriculture sector from one sector to many other sectors. That is what the systems approach, or that is what the broad-based farming systems. Extension system will be broad-based and revitalized. It should be broad-based and it should be revitalized. What the government wants is that the agriculture has to be diversified in many ways so that the farmer should get income, if not from one enterprise, from other enterprise. If one enterprise fails, the other enterprises should take up, should give him some income so that he can make his livelihood. So that is how we are looking at the farming systems. So now let us understand what is this farming system is all about. How can we define the farming system? Farming system is a complex interrelated matrix of plants, animal, soil, labor, capital, so many other things. They are all interdependent on each other. So if somebody asks you to define a farming system is a complex interrelated matrix of plants, soil, water, labor, capital, so many other things which are interdependent on each other. So all the resources of the farmer, they are interdependent on each other. And when we talk about the farming system, they are complex interrelated. They are interrelated with each other. One component depends upon the other component. The input of one becomes output for the other. The output of one component will become input for the other component. So that is how we define the farming system. The farmer's farm is viewed in a holistic manner. Of late, the researchers define it as a multidisciplinary approach. So this is how we define the farming systems approach. So whenever a entrepreneur wants to analyze or diagnose the farming system, he has to keep so many things in his background of his brain. He has got so many things that he should take into account when you analyze or diagnose the farming system. Why we are analyzing the farming system? To understand what the farmer's income is and how best we can increase the income of the farmer. That is our objective. So the objective of the farming system is to increase the income of the farmer. So how best we can increase the income of the farmer? If at all you want to increase the income of the farmer, then we have to make some interventions or diversifications in the present farming system. So to understand the farmer's farming system, we need to have so many things in our mind. We have to take care of the agroclimatic conditions, prevailing in that area where he is doing his farming system. We should be agroclimatic condition. What I mean to say is the climate. The climate consists, the humidity, the rainfall, the temperature, so many other things which makes climate, agroclimate. So a person should be aware of how much is the rainfall, how much is the temperatures in this area, what is the humidity, what is the wind velocity, what is the day temperatures, highest temperature, lowest temperature in this area. So all these agroclimatic factors are supposed to be aware of. A entrepreneur should be aware of all the agroclimatic factors. Then only he can make some suggestions or advice to the farmer to increase the income. Without understanding the agroclimatic conditions of that area, he cannot do it. So that is how one of the major factors to analyze the farming system is the agroclimatic factors. The other factor is the socio-cultural factors. So what we mean to know by the word socio-cultural factors is socio-cultural. India, as you know, that it has got many religions. It is a diversified country. We have got many social taboos, so many cultural restrictions we have. So all these things influences the farmer what to grow and what not to grow. If the social cultural factors are something which doesn't allow for producing something, the farmer cannot produce. For example, I will give a small example of how the social cultural factors affects in our agriculture. It will influence the farmers what to grow and what not to grow. See, if a farmer grows fish, right, in an integrated manner, that is integrated farming system, having rice come, pig come, paddy come, fish. This is an integrated farming that the farmer has taken up. Now after some time the crop gets harvested. After that he also harvests the fish in that integrated farming system. For the first time when he takes the fish to the market, nobody is aware of it. So his fish can easily be sold. When he takes it to the second time, the fish is not sold. Why it is not sold? Because by that time, by that 1 month difference, that from first market to the second market, the people came to know that the fish which has come to the market has been fed with the pig's excreta in the integrated farming system. So when the people, when they don't eat pig, how can they eat a fish that has been fed with the pig's excreta? So this is the question that arises. So when the people came to know that the fish which has come into the market has been fed with the pig's excreta through the integrated farming system, the people stopped purchasing the fish, right? So this is how our socio-cultural habits are. If you want to supposing if you want to grow flowers in plain areas like Andhra Pradesh or Telangana or in our plain areas, the flowers can easily be sold. If you do the same flower cultivation in northeastern region, nobody is there to purchase your flowers, because the use of flowers in northeastern region is very, very less. They use the flowers only in 2 times. That is, one is the birth time, other one is the death time. So the use of flowers by the people is also matters a lot. That is, the socio-cultural habits of the people influences the farmer what to grow and what not to grow. Similarly, what we discussed about the agroclimatic factors, all the agroclimatic factors restricts the farmer what to grow and what not to grow. It influences the farmer what to grow and what not to grow. But farmer doesn't have any influence on the agroclimatic factors. He cannot change the rainfall, he cannot change the temperature, he cannot change the humidity. He has no control over the agroclimatic factors. But these agroclimatic factors can change his life, can change his income, can change his cropping pattern. The agroclimatic factor can change his what to grow and what not to grow, how much to grow and how much not to grow. Similarly, the socio-cultural factors influences the farmer what to grow and what not to grow. So this is, these two factors are very, very important for any entrepreneur to understand, so that he can make some interventions in the farmer's existing farming system. The third factor, which is also equally important to that of our socio-cultural factors and agroclimatic factor, is infrastructure. These infrastructure facilities which are there for the farmer also influences the farmer what to grow and what not to grow, when to grow, when not to grow, how much to grow, how much not to grow. So infrastructure, what I mean to say is the roads, the communication, market, the other facilities of storages, your cold storage plants, so many other facilities that are provided to a farmer. If all the infrastructure facilities are good, then the farmer can grow anything. It influences the farmer what to grow and what not to grow. He decides. If he has got good infrastructure facilities, he can grow anything and he can market it if there is a market for him. If there is no market for him, what is that he can do it? Supposing a farmer takes up dairy in a remote village where there is no market. By the time he brings it to the city, the whole mill gets spoiled. So there is no market, he cannot take up. So wherever he has got the farm, if the infrastructure facilities are good, then he can produce anything that he wants. So this infrastructure facilities also influences the farmer a lot. I'll give you one more example. I had been to this northeastern region. I had been to Meghalaya recently, and in the West Khasi Hills, I was asked to visit a village by the project director Atma of that West Khasi Hills. When I visited there, that small village, one lady was explaining to me that every day from that village they are able to transport, or they are able to sell 1 truckload of vegetables to Agartala. So how is this possible? She said a few years back they were actually they never thought of exporting anything from their village, or they were not producing any vegetables a few years back. But it so happened that the government has laid a road from West Khasi Hills, which is in the top, and Agartala in the plain, Tripura Agartala, capital of Agartala, Tripura. So every day 1 truckload of the vegetables they are sending it because of that road. That is the communication that they got. Nobody moves from this village. Everything is done on only telephones. They fix the rates with a person, with a mandi fellow, and they sends the truckload of vegetables, different vegetables, not a single vegetable. They send tomatoes, they send radish, they send so many other vegetables. All these vegetables, they land in that Agartala, and whatever the price is prefixed or pre-decided by these farmers, right? They will get it in their banks. The amount is deposited in their banks. So this is how this could be possible, only because of that road. The road, connecting road from West Khasi Hills to Agartala, has helped the farmers to produce vegetables in that area. So this is how the importance of infrastructure. I'll give you one more example. If anybody has visited Goa, they can see in the airport in the morning hours, boxes after boxes, heaps of boxes lying all around the airport. What actually it contains? These boxes contains the flower orchids. The people of Goa, they came to know that these orchids have no market in our country, but these orchids have got a very good climatic condition to be grown in Goa. So every whether he is a farmer or not, whether he is a government employee or he is whoever he is, they grow orchids in their backyards, in their car garages have been converted into mist rooms for cultivating the orchids. These orchid flowers has got a very good market in the European market. These orchids are sold, each flower at a cost of 2 rupees. If a twig has got some 5 flowers, then 5 to 10 rupees. Every twig is sold at 10 rupees. So this, cultivation of orchids was, understood by the farmers, the people of, Goa, and they started cultivating these orchids. Today, if you go to Goa, you can see that heaps of boxes are there. They bring it in the morning and they are loaded in the aircrafts. All this could be possible because of, the international airport that they have got. The Goa has got an international airport where every day flights from 30-35 countries, they land in Goa and they take off from Goa. So this cultivation of orchids and sale of orchids from Goa was possible only because of that international airport. So this is the importance of infrastructure facilities. You might have heard about the abattoirs, like in Hyderabad one we have got Al Kabir abattoir, where actually this our cattle meat is being dressed and it is exported to many foreign countries, especially the Middle East countries. Today India is one of the leading country in export of meat. We are getting crores of rupees from the export of meat. This could be possible only because of that abattoir. So the abattoirs, the cold storage plants, the roads, all such type of infrastructure helps the farmer and influences the farmer what to grow and what not to grow. As an entrepreneur, you should understand what all the infrastructure facilities that are available for the farmer, where you are working, how far the city limits are there, where he can sell his produce, where are the market, where is the market for the farmer. If the market is in nearby, he can grow anything. And if there is a market, and then you should understand what type of the produce can be the farmer can produce and he can take it to the market. So this is what the entrepreneur has to think about, these factors in a very serious manner to help the farmers. So all these factors, they influence the farmer, and the farmer has no control over these factors. Even if you want to create some infrastructure facility, he cannot. He is a small farmer, he cannot do it. It is not possible for a farmer to come out with some infrastructure facility. No, it is not possible. And the last factor is the policies of the government. The government policies, sometimes they are helpful to the farmers, they are supportive to the farmers, like minimum support price which the government gives to the farmer, right? So the government policies, sometimes they are supportive to the farmers and sometimes they are not supportive to the farmers. I'll give a small example of how the policies makes difference to the farmer. In Andhra Pradesh, when N.T. Ramarao came to the power as a chief minister, he said that every farmer should have a borewell with a motor. Either it is a diesel motor or a electrical motor. So every farmer was benefited by that. When YSR came to power, when YS Rajshekar Reddy came to power, he declared that every farmer will get free power. So this free power concept helped each and every farmer, whether he is a big farmer or a small farmer or a medium farmer, every farmer, they got free power. So this is the government policy. The government policies supports the farmer. But sometimes the same government policies, recently the ordinance of the government, the present government of India, they came out with the ordinance whereby they are going to make the APMCs null and void. The farmer is free to sell his produce wherever he wants. But this will affect the farmer in his MSP. The government says that no, it will not. The farmer has got a lot of avenues to sell his produce. But the farmer's view is that it will affect the farmer a lot. So such things are not supported to the farmers. Whatever the farmer feels that they are supportive, definitely they are supportive. Minimum support price is given only for a few commodities, not for all. You might have heard about the rates of onion. Sometimes they are very low, sometimes they are very high. The farmer is being influenced by that. So the policies of the government always influences the farmer, what to grow and what not to grow, and the farmer doesn't have any control over these policies. So this is how we need to understand these factors. Then there are many other factors like land, labor, energy, capital and water. These factors are also highly influential to the farmer, what to grow and what not to grow. But these factors he can change, he can manipulate. If not fully, at least he can manage them well. Supposing the water he has got, whatever the limited water he has got, he can make use of the water very efficiently using the recent technologies of micro irrigation and so many other things. Similarly, the land that he has got, if he doesn't have a good fertile land, he can make it fertile by adding some good manures and fertilizers, something like that. Whatever the labor that he has got, his family labor and in hired labor, he can manage his farm, he can manage his labor efficiently and effectively if he is a good manager. So these factors, though they are not completely in his hand, but he can manage them well, he can manipulate them well. But these factors also influences the farmer production, what to grow and what not to grow to a larger extent. The capital that he has got, for example, you can take the capital. Whatever the limited capital he has got, with that limited capital, he can start some, not only he can invest in the crop husbandry, he can invest in animal husbandry, he can invest in many other things, many other enterprises. So with that limited capital, he can manage it well, he can do judicial use of his money that he has got, and he can make his livelihood better. So these are some of the factors which, though they are not fully under his control, but he can manage or manipulate. So some of the factors which are not under his control, some of the factors which are under his control, he can change them, he can manage them, right? So there are other factors, factors like what enterprises that he has taken up. These enterprises, they are totally under his control. Whenever he wants to change, whenever he wants to keep, he can remove. For example, dairy, fisheries, poultry, duckery, sericulture, so many other enterprises. Besides crops, supposing he is growing only paddy, he can change the paddy crop. He can go for some other crop. He can go for irrigated dry crops. So all these things are within his control. He can change it whenever he wants. So this is how we need to understand the factors which influences the farmer in producing are what the farmer has to do, what the farmer has to produce and what not to produce, how much to produce, how much not to produce, when not to produce. All these things are influenced by these factors. These factors, if we understand fully, then only we can make some advisory to the farmers. If you don't understand these factors, you cannot make any advisory to the farmer, or you cannot help any farmer wherever you are working. So this is how we have to understand the farming systems approach. This farming systems approach will help any entrepreneur to work with the farmers. You may ask one question that how can we do the farming systems analysis on an individual basis, or you can say that farmer to farmer basis. No, we are not asking you to do the farmer to farmer basis. Then how is it possible? It is possible because you have to group the farmers depending upon the system that they are having. A few farmers may be having agriculture as only enterprise. Some farmers in the village, if you see in the village, you will find farmers who are having agriculture plus animal husbandry only. That means the farmers are categorized into different farming systems based upon the different farming systems that they possess. Some farmers have got agriculture plus animal husbandry plus horticulture, that is vegetables. Or some farmers may be having agriculture plus animal husbandry plus fish. So you categorize the farmers accordingly based upon the enterprises that they have got. What are the enterprises that they are having? They are having only single enterprise, or two enterprises, or three enterprises, like crop plus animals, crop plus animal plus fish, crop plus animals plus poultry. So like that you will categorize the farmers of that particular village where you are working into different categories. And whenever you speak to them, you will speak the farmers in a group. You talk to the farmers of one at a time, that is agriculture plus animal husbandry farmer at a time. You call the farmers who are having crops, who are growing crops, as well as they are having animals with them. Animals, milch animals, that is dairy farm. You discuss with them what all that they do. You analyze their farming system. How much they are getting income from which crop, how many crops that they are growing. So finally, when you calculate the BC ratio, the benefit cost ratio for every enterprise, you will understand that how much money that the farmer is getting from that enterprise. For every 1 rupee that he has invested, how many rupees that he is getting? Is he getting for 1 rupee to 1 rupee only, or he is getting for 1 rupee invested and he is getting 3 rupees or 4 rupees or 5 rupees? If he is getting 3 rupees or 4 rupees or 5 rupees, that means his business is on a profitable business. If he is getting whatever he is investing, he is getting the same thing. That means he is not getting anything from his business. So here the farmer does it as a business. Every crop that he is doing, every enterprise that he is, keeping it, he is doing as a business. So today it is very much necessary to understand that farmer is doing a business. The days have gone when the farmer used to grow for his own consumption, that is subsistence agriculture. The days of subsistence agriculture has gone. Or the days of whatever he has got excess or surplus, he used to sell it in the market and he used to get whatever he wanted. Now today the farmer speaks only in terms of rupee. How many rupees have been invested and how many rupees that he has got. So in crop husbandry, supposing if he has invested some 20,000 rupees, how many rupees that he is going to get at the end of the crop harvest? In the dairy farm, he has invested some 2 lakh rupees. At the end of the day, how much rupees that he is getting from the 20 lakh rupees? 2 lakh rupees. So that is the question before the farmer. Today he is talking in terms of rupee to rupee. He is not talking in terms of seed to seed. So we should understand by calculating the economic viability of that particular enterprise by calculating the benefit cost ratio. If the benefit cost ratio is more than 2 or 3 or 4, then we say that the farmer is getting some income from that enterprise. If it is 1:1, that means the farmer is not getting anything. So if he is getting 1:1 or 1:2 or 1:3, how best we can, we should think about how best we can increase that ratio, that is 1:4 or 1:5 or 1:6. How to make it 1:4 or 1:5. So what intensification or diversification activities that we can take up with this particular farmer, we should think in that terms. You will get answer that what the farmer is doing, where he is going wrong, where he is not able to utilize his resources optimally or fully. Then we can make the farmer understand that you are not making your resources utilization fully. If you utilize your resources fully, you can get more income than what you are getting today. So this is how we analyze in a group by conducting the focus group discussions with the categorized farmers. So you have to categorize the farmers based upon the enterprises that they hold. Some people may be having 2 or 3 enterprises put together. The big farmers maybe definitely they will be having crops plus animals plus fish, or crops plus animals plus poultry, or crops plus animals plus vegetables, something like that if you analyze in the villages. So you have to categorize these farmers, and then you have to take the group of each the category, and then you have to discuss with them. You should conduct focus group discussions and calculate the economic viability, or you can say benefit cost ratio. If you calculate the benefit cost ratio, BC ratios, you will get the answer. So once you get the BC ratio less, then you have to think about how best we can increase the income of the farmers. What intensification, what diversification activities we can do. So if there is already some farmers are existing in the same village, in the same group. Supposing in a village there are 100 farmers and 10 farmers have got agriculture plus animal husbandry, and out of these 10 farmers who are having agriculture plus animal husbandry, one farmer is having more income than the rest of the 9 farmers. Then you see what that individual farmer, that one farmer out of these 10 farmer is doing. How he has increased his income. What difference that he is doing. How he could make his income more than the other 9 farmers of the same village. So you can take that as an example and you can ask the other 9 farmers to follow him. That is simple as that. Supposing there is no such farmer who has got more income than the rest of the farmers, then you have to think about what is that we have to do. There is another situation where some farmers, if not, they are not doing on their own, but they might have heard from somebody, that is extension officers, and they are following the recommendations of the extension officers, and they are doing something different from the rest of the farmers. Even if you find such farmer, a successful farmer, doing something based upon the recommendations of the extension, then you take that farmer as an example and ask the other 9 farmers to do it in the same manner what he is doing. So that is also is possible. If both the type of farmers, successful farmers, are not available, then you have to think about a alternate farming system. So you have to suggest the farmer an alternate farming system. If the farmer accepts your alternate farming system, or you can say a system which has been advised by you, if the farmer feels that that is good, then you can ask him to adopt that farming system, that is mutually agreed upon farming system we call. So if the farmer and you, if you mutually agreed on a particular farming system, that farming system can be made understood to the farmer, and you can recommend the farmer to adopt that. By adopting that mutually agreed upon farming system, the farmer will get more income than what he is getting today. So this is how we have to analyze the farming system, existing farming system of the farmer, to increase the income of the farmers. So this is what the farming systems approach is. Friends, I once again thank you all for patient listening. If you have got any question, please ask me through mail. My mail address as well as my mobile number will be given to you in the lecture. Thank you very much.